No date, no venue, 2014.
Okay, cool. Definitely recommend that second or that third package. Those packages are regularly $800, $900. However,
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom.
Thrive Nation, if you want to follow along, go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire and go to page 199 of my newest book called A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. That's the book title, A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. Not to get rich quick, not to get rich, but to get rich in a guaranteed way, in a step-by-step way, in a proven path that is sustainable. And you go to page 199 of my book, and I quote Clayton Christensen, the author from Harvard, who wrote a book called How Will You Measure Your Life? He was an acclaimed business author, and he said the following. He said, in the absence of processes that guide people, experienced people need to lead and do everything. But in established companies where much of the guidance to employees is provided by proven processes and is less dependent upon managers with detailed hands-on experience, then it makes sense to hire or promote somebody or someone who needs to learn from experience. What he's saying is that when you have systems in place, your business can scale without you scaling your time. It has the ability to create time and financial freedom for you. So if you're listening today and you want to create time and financial freedom, we're going to really hone in today on call centers and how to build a scalable business by creating a call center. Now, today's guest happens to be the franchise brand developer for a brand called OxyFresh. So if you buy an OxyFresh franchise, they already have the call center in place for you. So if you're looking to have a business model that you own that already has the call center component, I would highly recommend you look at oxyfresh.com. But we're really going to dial into how to build a successful call center today. Matt Klein, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Clay. Thanks for having me.
Now, Matt, I've written down the 10 steps for building a call center, and I want to tap into your wisdom on these. Okay. Step number 1, you got to have call scripts. So people go to oxyfresh.com. I mean, you have 500 plus locations. Oftentimes a location might get 10 calls in a day. I mean, you could have in the call center 5,000 calls a day or 4,000 calls a day. Why do you have to start off by having a sales script in place?
Well, because it keeps people accountable. One, they can't just go off script and start saying things that maybe aren't true, or maybe you just essentially, if you do the script, it'll allow you to do it enough times to where it becomes second nature, and you're getting the information that you need from the customer with the least amount of like details. For instance, like we can get to the same end goal, but it might take me 5 more minutes than if I have a script. So the script just allows us to be very specific about what we're asking. It allows the call center reps to get used to a rhythm and a flow, because we're trying to get the certain amount of information. So you just want to make sure that it's standard too, because if it's a standard across the board, then you can start to compare closing percentages, call volumes, and you can actually start to run that scheduling center and hold people accountable.
Now, again, step 1, folks, you've got to create a sales script for all interactions. And if you go to oxyfresh.com, you buy an OxyFresh franchise, they already have that in place. Second, Matt, you've got to staff that call center. Now, this is a wild idea. At oxyfresh.com, you have a wonderful call center of people. But Matt, every week you're interviewing people, you're training people, you're onboarding people. Wonderful call center reps decide to be a stay-at-home mom. They decide to move to Michigan. They decide to put in their 2 weeks notice. Other people stick on the team for years and years. But you're never done recruiting. Why can't you ever stop hiring people if you're going to build a super successful call center or sales center?
Yeah. Well, one, for OxyFresh specifically, is we're always growing. So you always need to be increasing your staff to take care of the amount of call volume that's required. But just like you're saying, if you get 30, 40 employees that are actually answering the phones, a certain percentage of them will leave every year. You need to always be hiring. You need to be elevating your like what you're expecting of them. right? You need to be increasing your closing percentages. And that only happens by, the people that are doing the best, make sure they're getting better. And the people that are doing the worst, either get them up there or you need to replace them. Because if you have 4 people answering the phones at a high volume, really productive, you have one person that's not answering the phones, that's a wasted seat, right? They need to be replaced with someone that's going to be productive. So you just need to consistently make sure that scheduling center is getting better and better through the people that you hire.
Now, this is going to sound potentially redundant, but you and I have not agreed on these top 10 ahead of time. You have to install key performance indicators, as you talked about a little bit earlier. I know at OxyFresh, as an example, I would say this: if you buy an OxyFresh franchise, and maybe you feel like I'm exaggerating, I don't think I am. I think most people who work, most of the call center reps that work at OxyFresh, potentially make more calls or receive more calls in a day than most contractors receive in a week. I believe that most of your salespeople and your call center are receiving more calls in a day or making more calls in a day than most contractors make in a week. Matt, I think your mic might be muted there. So Matt, do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they are fielding calls for over 500 locations across the country. They can get a phone call, answer the phone, get all the information from the customer, book the job in there in under 5 minutes, right? So when the more we have franchisees, the more marketing's out, the more people are calling. I would say that at the least amount, that's probably what it is.
Now, step 4 here, you must remove distractions from your call center team. As an example, I see a lot of people, Matt, and that's why it's so great if you buy an OxyFresh franchise. Your call reps, their job is to represent the franchisees and answer the phone. Now, I see a lot of business owners that say my call center guy or my call center girl is also expected to respond to the mail. They're also expected to go out and maybe do a photo shoot. Maybe they're expected to help decorate for the Christmas party. Maybe they're expected to help go get lunch. Maybe they're expected to run errands. And then every time the phone isn't answered while they're gone, that's money on the line that's being turned down. I mean, you have call center reps at OxyFresh, well-trained call center reps. That's what they do. Their job is to answer the phone and to schedule carpet cleaning. That's what they do. Can you talk about why you have to remove distractions from your call center team?
Yeah, because every lost phone call is a lost customer. You can't have customers calling and being on hold for 3 or 4 minutes. You can't have customers calling and saying, hey, we'll give you a call back, or leaving messages. Every person that calls us, if the phone is not answered pretty quickly, is a lost opportunity, because they're not going to sit there and wait for you to call them back, right? They're going to essentially go to the next company that they find on that list. And so for us, having folks that are tuned in to answering phones only, one, the amount of calls they get, they'll become experts at explaining what they're doing, asking the right questions, right? Answering the right questions. And so that they're the most productive folks that can be on the other side. I would argue that they are going to be better than any owner could possibly be, because just like you said, that is what they are doing every single day for the time they're working. They're not doing other things like an owner of a business would do.
Now, this is powerful, and this is going to freak somebody out here. Step 5, you have to create a frequently asked question guidebook. And I see so many entrepreneurs, they're like, why do I have to write down every possible question that somebody's going to ask? Geez, do I have to think through everything? Well, this is what I would say. I talked to one guy I worked with years ago, true story. I'll be kind of vague to not get myself in trouble, but he was a surgeon. And if you and I answered the phone, thank you for calling such and such surgery, how can I help you? Most people wanted to know, hey, I'm looking to schedule an augmentation or a lift, or I have a glass injury, I need to have glass removed, or a scar, and they would say, what do you charge? And then we would say, well, you know what, Dr. Such and Such does the first consultation for free, so we'd like to schedule a time for you to meet. And that's probably 80% of the calls, maybe 70% of the calls. But then, Matt, there was people calling back like, hey, I had surgery last Tuesday, and what medication should I take? How much is enough? How much is too much? Hey, before I go into surgery, I want you to know I'm allergic to this kind of medication. I do well with this. I don't do well with this. Hey, by the way, I might need to reschedule. And this doctor just kept throwing people into the position before finally he had that breakdown and was ready for the breakthrough. And he goes, Clay, I'm ready to make my frequently asked questions book. I'm fine. And I worked with this guy for years, helping him grow his practice. But for whatever reason, he always would go back to, Matt, what do I need to script out everything? Why do I need to script out everything? I mean, what are these people? And I would always tell him, brother, don't be Don't be so emotional about it. You're a doctor. You're hiring a front desk guy or gal with kind of a fixed income, and they're not going to stick around forever. You've been a client of mine for years and years. About every 18 months, you're going to have to replace this person. Just document the frequently asked questions. Let me get your thoughts on that, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much, I mean, people can sense when you don't know what you're talking about. Right. If someone asks you questions and you stutter, or you're like, well, I need to ask somebody else. It's like, it goes back to what we just talked about. It's like every phone call not answered is a lost opportunity. Any phone call that you can't give the right answers to is also a lost opportunity. These folks are trusting you to go in their home. They're trusting you to do what you say you're going to do from the marketing that they've already read on. Right. I mean, you need to be the most polished company possible. And that has to do with the initial conversation we would have with the customer. Any amount of like failing to answer questions or stuttering on the questions, like you're also trying to put that employee in a position where they can easily answer questions and they're not put up against the corner. Like they need to be able to fluidly discuss with the customer what they're trying to get done, answer the questions accordingly, because that customer's trying to find the reason they chose you is because they thought that you would be the best option. You need to act like the best option.
It's powerful. This is powerful. Now, folks, this is move number 6. And again, I haven't gone over these with Matt Klein in advance. I'm just telling you, this is what I would recommend that you would do, having helped so many companies at this point, over 1,000 companies, create call centers, call systems. This is just my list I go through. You have to install call recording. I happen to recommend a company called clarityvoice.com, CLARITY, clarityvoice.com. You got to install call recording. I mean, you not installing call recording is like a football coach that doesn't watch the game and or watch the game film. You not having call recording would be like a baker who's blind and it has no ability to taste things. You not having call recording would be like being a basketball coach that doesn't know, has never watched your actual team play a game. You not having call recording in place would be like a student not watching themselves in the mirror. You have to have call recording in place. Matt, why do you have to have the call recording in place?
Well, one, it actually puts the onus on the consumer as well as the scheduling center rep. It allows you, if there's a problem, right? This happens to us sometimes. We go to someone's home, the quote is for 8 rooms and a staircase, okay? And we get there and the customer says, well, you guys said you'd do all 14 of my rooms for this price. Right? If I don't have that call and I can't actually go back, then I'm going to have to take somebody's word for that. Right? Whereas if I go on there and say, no problem, customer A, B, whoever it is, we actually record every call. We make mistakes just like everyone else. Let me just double check that and make sure we didn't mess up. You know what they're going to say? Oh, it's okay. Just clean the 8 rooms we originally, because they're trying to get you, right? So you need to have it on both layers. You need to be able to spot check calls on your behalf to make sure that they're answering correctly. They're following the script we talked about, right? They're answering correctly. They have a good attitude with the customer, but you also need that call recording to hold customers reliable too, or responsible for what they've asked for. So on both fronts, it just covers your back completely. And I've had to use it plenty of times, by the way.
Now let's move. And I would say we use call recording every day. I mean, in my office, it's an ongoing, it's like a lock on a door. I mean, it's that common of a feature for us. Now, step number 7, you've got to track every lead. Now at oxyfresh.com, if you buy a franchise, they do this for you. But if someone fills out your form, that's something out of the norm, and somebody needs to call them until they cry, buy, or die. What am I saying?
Yep.
I'm saying you got to track the lead, because you work so hard with your marketing and your branding and your online ads to generate a lead with your word of mouth and your Dream 100 and your networking. So if a lead comes in, you need to call them until they cry, buy, or die. And the average sales rep and the average sales organization that I've actually worked with typically will call a lead one time and then move on. But at OxyFresh, they have a culture of calling back, following up until the person cries, buys, or dies. Now, again, they're not randomly outbound calling random people. These are inbound leads, people that have actually filled out the form and said, we want to become clients. Matt, why do you have to track every lead until it succeeds in paying you?
Well, it's because you've already paid for that lead, right? As a business owner and or any lead that came to you in some fashion, whether it's through marketing or through word of mouth or referral, like you've already gone through the entire process of gaining that customer, at least to the point of they want something from you. If you fail to respond back, maybe the customer is not available at that moment. If you quit it at that, you give every one of your competitors the ability to step in and potentially get that job from you. Right. So you've already paid for it. The point of this is to become a successful company that has the ability to grow If you're not doing that, I would say it's a waste of time and money because you've already gone the entire length to get that customer engaged with you. That little extra step will actually allow them to be a customer long-term for you.
I had a client I worked with years ago. He's a roofer. And he used to tell me, Matt, he would say, man, I said, I'm getting a lot of leads, but nothing's closing. And I said, well, when a lead fills out your form, when do you call them back? He said, well, I try to batch it. So like if you fill out the form on like a Monday, I'll usually call you back by Friday. And I go, what are you doing now? He says, well, I mean, because I try to meet with my techs, meet with the guys on the trucks, tell them, guys, we got to go out there and install this roof, that roof. I order supplies. I do it. I like to batch because he got on some podcast where it talks about batching your time. True story. And I'm going, so you mean if anybody fills out the form on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you don't call them back until Friday? He goes, well, yeah, I mean, Friday, I mean, it's like Friday is buy day. And I said, what? And he goes, dude, all my sales are on Friday. It's approved. And I'm like, what? And he said, I close all my deals on Friday. I said, yeah, because you only call them on Friday. He said, what? And it was like a cultural thing. And I said, who came up with that idea? And he said, well, I got one of my techs who works for me. And he told me that the best day people want to buy is on a Friday. And we need busy on Mondays. And so we don't call people until Friday because Friday's buy day. And I'm going, just because it rhymes cannot be true. But there's kind of cultural jackassery that works its way into any company if you don't thwart it, Matt. And you got to call every lead until they cry, buy, or die. So step 8, if somebody fills out the form, you've got to call them until they cry, buy, or die. And this just in, you got to text people, you got to call people, you got to email people until they cry, buy, or die. And right now at Elephant in the Room, our haircut chain and the other businesses I'm involved in, as of right now, hey, James, you got to hear this real quick. James, that's my code for James. 1 second here. You saw this way. So James, when people fill out the form right now to attend one of our conferences, this is James from New Jersey. How many times do you have to call the average person before they actually pick up the phone and buy a ticket? These are people that have requested a ticket.
6 times, 10 times, 15 times. I've called people 30 times.
How many? What's the average? If someone fills out the form today and you print it off on the printer, it goes on the customer relationship management software. It prompts up, here's their phone number to call them.
Probably like 8 to 12 times, I'd say. And I just don't stop. I've literally called leads every hour of the day. Clay, you were my witness on that.
Yeah, there's a lady the other day that called me and she's like, hey, I want you to know I listened to you on Robert Kiyosaki. I love the show. Rich Dad, big old text. Love Rich Dad Poor Dad. Loved your interview, Clay, on Rich Dad Poor Dad. Love. This is a huge text, man. Big. And I want you to know I'd like a ticket for your conference. I'm calling this lady. I am calling her. Boom, boom, boom. Because I got some downtime, Matt. And when some people, some people smoke, some people go to the bathroom, some people get coffee. I call my leads. I love it. It's just fun. I never get done with it. I like to just call. I like to be on the phone. So I have downtime. I'm like, give me a lead. I like to close some deals. It's fun. So I'm on the phone, calling. Boom, boom. I text. I call. I got the move. My move is text call. Boom, 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 boom. Often text while calling. I'm just boom, 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 boom. And finally, she's like, what? I go, yeah. So you wanted a ticket for the Reawaken event? Well, yeah. I'm like, great. Let me pass the phone to George. Because it's like, for whatever reason in her world, she had to see, no exaggeration, 4 or 5 missed calls from the same number back to back over a pretty short period of time to pick up the phone. Matt, I mean, what would happen at OxyFresh if you said, guys, call the leads once? What would happen?
Your likelihood of closing would be very low, right? I mean, there's people doing things. There's people that can't answer the phone. They might be at work, right? I mean, you're just giving yourself the least amount of potential to book that job or to get that customer, right? I mean, if you just think about your own behavior, anybody that's listening to this, like if you got a call, like let's say you got a call just like him, he called you once an hour, would you answer it every single time? Or would you maybe answer it 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 8, right? So what's the name of the game here, right? Get as many customers as possible. So I would say do whatever it takes to close as many customers as possible. That takes 5 calls, that takes 10 calls, right? That takes calling back, text, whatever it is. It's saying the name of the game here is to grow and scale. That's why we're all in small business.
I find a lot of people, Matt, they throw out the old ethical argument right about the time. Now, again, this is something you guys do at OxyFresh. If someone buys an OxyFresh franchise, you have a management team, a wonderful management team, a wonderful team of people. I've met many of them. And what they do is they manage the team. So their job is to walk the floor and to Follow up, Matt. I've seen it happen. Usually you have a person on your team who's got a headset on, or they're walking around the room, and what their job is to do is to make sure that your team is providing that excellent quality control that you guys expect. Now, a lot of companies take out the management layer. They say, no. We believe in employee independence, and we're going to take a guy we just hired yesterday, and we don't want to micromanage him. So we're going to let him just go 3 or 4 weeks at a time without following up. Matt, we're not going to follow up every day. No. We're not going to have a manager. We're just going to let that person make calls, and we'll follow up with them maybe once every week, maybe 2 weeks. But we're not going to have a man like an OxyFresh. You've got management right there. Good quality, inspired people who work at OxyFresh, managers that are mentors, managers that are great leaders. I mean, you've got a wonderful team there. Now, if you take out that team, Matt, and you said, managers, go home. Sales reps, start making calls from your living room whenever you get a chance. Work from home. It's fine. Every day's work from home day. What would happen to the productivity if you got rid of that follow-up management layer?
Yeah, I mean, everything would start just falling apart piece by piece. People would not be held accountable. Phones would not be answered. Callbacks would not happen, right? I mean, yeah, it would become a very disorganized business, a very not successful business in a matter of days, not weeks.
It would get bad. I'll tell you, folks, and not sexually speaking, so non-sexually speaking, it would become Sodom and Gomorrah is what would happen very quickly. Now, this right here, Matt, was my last day working at my DJ business, and back when I owned it. It's America's largest wedding entertainment company. I filmed the last day. James, will I ever show you this video to you?
I love this video.
It is an incredible video. Matt, try not to cry when I play this here, because our final step is you got to schedule a weekly meeting to train your team. Often daily. You want to do daily huddles. I recommend daily huddles as well, but you got to schedule time to train the team. And that's the stuff you guys do at oxyfresh.com. Let me hit play here. Matt, look at this. This is just, I mean, listen to this, Matt. Let me crank it up. Oh, Matt, look at that.
No team will venue 2014.
Look at it, Matt. 20 men all following a script. Look at this. Oh, yeah. He's on the phone.
That second or that third package.
Oh,
Those packages are regularly $800 and $900.
thank you.
However, with the price special this week,
I want to go back. I want to look back. I want to go back to that time. Oh, there's Nick. He went on to become a successful
nice little
realtor.
buzz in the room. Nice little buzz in the room. It's getting pretty crazy.
I met this guy at the grocery store. He was hosing off vegetables. I hired the guy. He went on to make 6 figures every year selling photography.
I black out from like 3 to 9.
True story. He's never taken wedding photos and knew nothing about the packages we offered, but he could just sell anything to anybody because he's a script reading machine. He's like a comedian.
And then at 9 o'clock, I wake up. Money on my desk. I don't know where it came from. I got to remind myself I'm working. It's a lot of fun.
It's hard to sort. Do you just use the money to heat your home? You don't know what to do with all the extra money?
That's one way to do it, but a lot of times, we just want to make sure that it gets to the right person. So
Makes sense.
Just all day. Look at this, Matt. Look at this all day. Just the phone's ringing. Oh my gosh. Oh, come on. Now we don't have enough time, but if you go to the other room across the wall, there's more people on the phone and the phone's ringing, Matt. Leads are coming in because the marketing is effective. It's almost like a mini picture of an OxyFresh. Let me pull this up real quick because OxyFresh, let me tell you what happens at OxyFresh, okay? You go to oxyfresh.com, you get a turnkey franchise. They've already thought through the marketing systems. They've thought through the carpet cleaning systems, and your job is to do this. If you buy an OxyFresh, clean carpets and teach people to clean carpets. What? Clean carpets, teach people to clean carpets. What am I saying? Clean the carpets and teach the people to clean the carpets, and make sure you gather objective reviews from real customers. That's what you have to do, Matt. I mean, there's some other details there, but I mean, that's the main thing, man. And Matt, you have right now, as we're talking today, you have multiple locations that you own. And right now, your team at this very second is cleaning carpets right now as we're talking. Matt, how is it possible that your team is cleaning carpets right now as you're doing this interview with us?
Yeah, it's because one, I don't have to pull all the strings, right? So the marketing's out that OxyFresh helped build for me. I was able to get reviews with me, myself, and my employees. Because of that work, we get consistent people calling us to get their jobs done. The scheduling center off the rules that I have created within my software, by the way. They book a job in Fort Collins, which is my most northern area. they're going to give that job to the guy that's most northern. If they do it in Boulder, Colorado, for southern area, they're going to book that job. So like you can actually preset the rules in the software so they book jobs so it's the most efficient for your schedule. And my employees can log in at any time, see what's happened in the past, present, and future, see where they need to be, who the customer is, what they've agreed upon in terms of the job itself, any specific notes. They can go there, meet the customer, do the job, get paid right there at they're done. So the process between the actual customer calling and the money going in my bank account is all handled for me. Now I'm responsible for my employees and their behavior and their production and customer concerns if there are some, but 99% of all customers, they call in, they get the phone answered, they get on the schedule, the employee goes to the house, they do the job, they get paid. I'm not part of any of that unless there's like something that's needed of me. But all of that's happening. It's because the automation that we've created. It's because the technology, it's because the marketing, right? So that's the goal, to have a business running for me while I'm doing other stuff.
It's like your own little benevolent dictatorship there, James. It's incredible running OxyFresh. I mean, it's an incredible thing. It's like your own benevolent dictatorship. What am I saying? I mean, you're in charge. It's your business. You get to set your own hours, work at your own pace, control your own destiny. And Matt, it's less than $100,000 to buy an OxyFresh franchise right now. How much does it cost?
It's $44,900 to become a franchise, which includes your protected territory, your entire equipment setup for carpet and upholstery, about 3 months worth of product, the 7-year agreement, plus the training will fly you to Colorado. Okay?
Folks, it's a turnkey system. It's a turnkey system. Now, again, if you want to know the details on how to build a sales team that grows your sales totals every day, listen to part 2 of today's show. Then on part 3 of today's show, I'm going to share with you the story about a client we worked with. Tell me if you can believe this story. We're working with a guy. He's an artisan, James, an artisan. You know what I mean? He's an artist. Can you imagine this?
I'm thinking.
Are you
about,
blacking out? Are you okay?
I'm thinking about what an artisan is. So.
Okay, this guy's an artist. He's an artist.
Like cheap.
You know, it's like a guy who, Matt, it's like he carves wood, paints stuff. He's an art guy.
Gotcha.
And I just helped this guy. True story. He just sold his company, just exited the company, multimillionaire.
Dude.
And you know what? 1/14th of our system was? We had to build all these systems, these sales systems, specifically 1/14th of the system was what we just went over today. We had to do the accounting systems, the branding systems, the marketing, the hiring, all the stuff. But again, if you buy an OxyFresh, folks, it's already there for you. Now, if you want to learn more about attending one of our in-person Thrivetime Show workshops, it's a 2-day interactive business workshop. Just go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com. If you want to learn more about OxyFresh, just go to oxifresh.com or fill out the form right there at thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh, thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh. Fill out the form and learn more about buying an OxyFresh franchise. Matt Klein, you smell terrific. We do appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
See you. Bye. All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I am very fired up, so fired up that we have an actual longtime client in the studio, Sean Lum. We have a beautiful man, Sean Lum. We have a beautiful man in the studio with us, a man who runs a successful company. We've had the opportunity of working with him for years, and it's been fun to see him in the office. And then today, I think he's here learning how to edit videos. Kevin, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Clay. Glad to be here.
So tell everybody out there, what's your first and last name, and what's the name of your business, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of my company is MultiClean Commercial Cleaning Services.
And how long have we worked with you, approximately?
It's been about 4 to 5 years.
Okay, and then how much have you grown during that period of time?
We have probably doubled in size.
Now, this is what I wanted to get into today. I just talked to a wonderful person this morning, a longtime client of mine, and he says to me, Clay, how in the boop am I supposed to find good people? How in the boop am I supposed to go out there and find some people that are willing to do their boop jobs? I can't find anybody that will do their boop jobs. What the boop? And he's just so frustrated. And I said, bro, you have to do the interview hiring process that we teach at the Thrivetime Show. We teach to our clients. I've been teaching you for years. What is your holdback? He says, my industry's different, okay? My industry's different. I'm in the construction industry, and I just can't. You don't understand. It's harder to find people in my industry. And I gave him examples of people in his same industry that we've helped to find good people, find good employees. I've taught him I've walked him through it. And so I thought we would do, I'm going to detach from his emotional situation because it's easy. It's going to be very easy to hire people if you learn these moves. But he's so frustrated today. And so I'm going to walk people through the moves that we teach. And I'd like to get your thoughts, Kevin, on the application of it. We'll kind of go rapid fire. So every week I told this client, I said, Mr. Client, every week you have to do an interview. Every Wednesday night at 5:30, I interview all of the job candidates that that say they want to work with me. So step one, every single week, if you're writing this down, folks, every single week you have to do a job post. Kevin, why do you have to do a job post every single week on Indeed, on ZipRecruiter, on the various hiring platforms and boards? Why do you have to do it every single week, even if you're fully staffed?
Well, you have to do it every week because there are many, many other companies that are competing for that space and that time. And so you have to continually be in front of prospective employees.
And last night, folks, I did the interview last night. I do it every single Wednesday night. Sean, and you are a business consultant up here. Even when I'm out of town, I say, if I'm out of town, I say, Sean, I need you to do the interview. Why do I do it every single week?
Well, because players, when they're looking for a job, we'd better be hiring. So we do it every week.
So step one, we've got to every single week do the job post. Step two, we have to do the interview every week. Now, this is going to make somebody nauseous, going to make somebody sick. Someone's going to get frustrated. They're going to say, you're so negative. 75% of people, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, look it up, folks, don't believe me, 75% of employees admit to stealing from the workplace, and 85% of employees admit to lying on their resumes. 85% admit to lying on their resumes. 75% admit to stealing from the workplace. Kevin, is that shocking to you as an employer who's employed literally thousands of people throughout your career?
You know, you think it would be shocking, but since we've been in business for 30 years, you just kind of plan for it.
You plan for it?
Yes.
And so last night we had, I just want to get your thoughts here. I want to see if you can read my mind. Here we go. Last night we had 24 candidates that said they would be at the interview last night. 24 said we will be there for the interview at 5:30. So 5:26, I look around, 5:27, 5:28. I look around and I count the number of heads of people that are here to do an interview with me. And what number of heads? Well, how many people do you think showed up out of that 24 candidates that said we will be here for the interview? How many of them do you think actually showed up on time?
I would say 7.
Negative. What do you think, Sean?
Wow.
Kevin's pretty negative. You can sense the bias
negative there. I mean, since I've ran the interview before and since you have an awesome company, people really do get excited to come in. You still run about a 60-70% showing up. So I'm thinking maybe 17, 18 people, maybe.
You're a delusional optimist.
Okay.
I got to tell you this. Kevin was right. We didn't tell you seven people.
Okay. All right.
It was 7 people. We hadn't talked about that. 7 people. Wow. 7 people. So we have a wonderful lady. I won't mention her first or last name, but she came to the group interview. She came to the interview. She was phenomenal. And her business, the boss told her, hey, hate to do this to you, but we've gotten in a situation where we're going to have to do some pretty big layoffs. So she just lost her job. And her husband said, you should go apply. She hasn't applied for a job in years because she's always had the same job. And she shows up. She goes, I love the atmosphere, love the culture. I thought she was a great fit. Boom. Perfect fit. Now, out of that group of 24 people, how many people, Kevin, do you think were a good fit? Out of the 24, because we had 24 that said they would show up. 7 actually showed up. How many do you think were a good fit last night?
3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
a lot of hopium there.
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna go down a little bit and say there was a surprise extra person that wasn't
We
there.
had 2 people last night,
okay.
so 2 of the 24 seemed like a great fit. Now, but it's every week. Now, there it is. So what happens is I'm in a situation, though, right now today where we had a longtime employee who's been here a long time. They're doing a good job. They're a pastor's kid, always honest. No, good people. And this person says to me, I want you to know I can no longer work here. I having something that came up. I'm going to be switching careers, and I wanted to give you a notice. Now, Kevin, how long of a notice do you think the pastor's kid who's been here a long time, everybody likes this individual. You guys probably don't know this person because they're not in the building as much. And they've been here a long time. And they are good people. How long of a notice do you think they gave me? Because, they've been here a long time. And, you want to burn any bridges, right? If you're going to go on to a new career or a new job. How long of a notice do you think they gave us, Kevin?
Well, ideally 2 weeks, but probably, 30 minutes?
Ooh, pretty harsh. Looking like a true entrepreneur there. What do you think there, Sean?
Well, I'm gonna just be a little. Say they give you a week. Did they give you a week? At least a week?
5 days.
5 days. Okay.
Not 5 business days, but 5 days.
5 days.
So they're like, I just Hate to do this to you.
Ooh.
Now, what's crazy is that survey says, I start to think, what other people know about this? Boop, boop. You know, I start to have like a game show in the office. Did you know about this? Did you know about this? And these people tell me, they told me they wanted to tell you themselves, so I didn't tell you. So multiple people knew that this person was planning on quitting for a couple weeks to go do their new career. But they didn't tell me either. Kevin, why is it that other people who work in the office with the person would not tell me, even though they knew that this person was going to be leaving?
You know, after 30 years, I'm still trying to find that answer.
I think it's because the employees want to be liked. They want to be this person's friend. The friendship extends beyond the workplace. Maybe when this person goes to a new job, maybe they're still buddies. I don't know. But so step one, you have to, every single week, you have to do the job post. Week number 2, you got to interview candidates. Step 3. So step 1, post the job every single week. Step 2, do the interview every week. Step 3, you got to have people shadow you. And the shadow is where people, you really get to know more who they are when they shadow. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to get your thoughts on that, Kevin, because I tell people, why don't you come shadow? And you can shadow for like 10 minutes or all day, whatever it's going to take. I just want to make sure that you fit with our culture. With the shadow, what happens if you don't shadow and you just interview somebody, then you hire them based upon the things they tell you during the interview?
Well, you know, we like to hire for character, train for skill, and you really have no idea what someone's character is during an interview. So what we do is we have them shadow another manager, spend a half a day with them, and their character comes out because people say things they shouldn't say, and they reveal their character. And so that's one of the reasons why we believe shadowing is so important, because you get to know someone away from the actual interview.
Now, again, what is your website there, sir, if people want to learn more about you and your business, sir?
It is multicleanok.com.
multicleanok.com. multicleanok.com. And so, folks, this is a real entrepreneur, real business owner. We've really worked with him to help him grow his company. If you're in Oklahoma and you're looking for a company that does professional cleaning for your office, would you classify that as janitorial work, or what kind of services and solutions do you provide there, sir?
Yes, I would say mainly janitorial cleaning for any commercial business, offices, industrial, schools, churches.
Okay, and again, I'm titling today's show "How to Hire People on the Planet Earth." You know, because I think a lot of people, they think it's a different industry, so it's different. I don't care if you're a dentist, you're an optometrist, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. You have to do this every week. And this client that I talked to today, I mean, their business is booming, and they're in the construction space, and they decided to not do the interview for a couple weeks because things are rocking. They went on a family vacation. Kevin, what would you say if you're sitting down with someone and they say, well, you know, I got the summer coming up, things are going good, our staff is rocking, so we're just not going to do the group interview for a few weeks, in his case, a month? What would you say?
My recommendation is to always be interviewing, because you never know when someone is going to give you, the pastor's kid is going to give you a 5-day notice, and you have no clue, and so you're not prepared, and then you have holes in your business. So you need to always be interviewing, always taking resumes. Just keep that in motion every day.
Sean, again, this is a construction guy who I think people forget sometimes, but when I took this guy on, he's a very small business, and now this guy's business is booming. And he says, you know, with the summer coming up and all the family vacations. Well, Thrive Nation, we here at the Thrivetime Show, what we do is we help business owners to grow their businesses. The purpose is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And we've had a long time client that we've worked with, and this is sort of like our exit interview, because he's actually exited the business, and so he's at the other end of the rainbow, or he got to the top of the mountain, or he hit his big goal. And I'm honored to call him a friend and a longtime client. Tim Whaley, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing outstanding, Clay. Thank you for having me on.
Can you tell everybody, how did you first hear about what we do in terms of business coaching?
I first heard of you through your podcast, actually. So I started listening, was very intrigued. Actually, you had built and sold businesses in the industry that I was in. So it seemed like a natural fit to inquire about coaching.
Yeah.
And, you know, once we connected and you did your I'm not sure if it was an onboarding interview or it was more of you were going to determine whether or not we were a good fit. I think that was it. But once we did that, I was hooked and was really hoping that you would take me on as a client, which you did.
Now, before I met you, I mean, you'd been in business for a long time, and one would say you were probably the dominant resource or one of the top providers in your industry before we even met. Could you tell the listeners how implementing the Dream 100 system impacted your business growth?
Oh my gosh! So within just a few short years, it doubled our revenue, plain and simple. So Dream 100 was by far the secret sauce for our success, and really the reason why I was able to exit my business ahead of schedule. So just a brilliant program, makes total sense. As a company, it's one of the few marketing / advertising outlets that you have total control over. It's not like you're on, Facebook, which owns Facebook, or Google, which owns Google, but I mean, you own the system, you make it work, and great things happen.
Now, with the Dream 100, you have to identify the vendors that you want to refer you, or the prospects that you want to refer you. You have to identify the ideal and likely buyers that you want to refer you, and then you have to reach out to them consistently. And you guys have done a phenomenal job at doing that. What were a couple of the challenges of persistently reaching out to people to get them to refer you guys business?
Well, a couple things. One, you just really have to find the right fit. You have to find the right employee or employees. Because really, when you're going out there, you need somebody who's obviously great at building relationships. And that's a lot of different people. But what I found is you also just need a hunter killer. So it's not necessarily somebody who's very personable and great with people, but somebody with those qualities, but also just has like I said, a hunter killer, just has a drive to bring business in. And you find that person and they just make it happen. And we were fortunate enough to find a couple great employees who were just very good at that.
And now that you have sold the business, you're going to stay on as an advisor to make sure that the brand is successful and that sort of thing. What does it feel like to be on the other side of the rainbow, or to be at the top of the mountain, or to be on the other side of selling a business that you started so many years ago?
Well, Clay, it's only been 6 weeks. So obviously some mixed feelings there. But if I had to put it in one word, I would have to say freedom.
Okay. Yeah.
So it feels pretty darn good. And my wife and I are very excited. Now, obviously we're still, we're still helping the new ownership transition and whatnot. Yeah. So there's stuff we're doing and stuff to be done. But overall, it's, when you've been hitting it hard for 33 years, and then all of a sudden you don't have to, it feels pretty darn good. Not going to lie.
Now, Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I recently interviewed him, and he had me on his show, and it's been kind of fun to connect with this guy who wrote the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, and it's just fun to connect with him. And he's been talking borderline obsessively on his show recently about it's not what people say, it's what they do. You need to watch what people do, not what they say. And I think a big thing about having a business coach or a personal trainer, if you're into fitness, is if you're into fitness, you need to have a nutritional plan, you need to have a workout plan, and then you need someone to hold you accountable. And if you're a business owner, you need to have a business plan, you need to have weekly actions that you need to implement, and then you need to have some accountability. How has having a business consultant or a coach to guide you down the path, how has that impacted you?
Tremendously. So there's a running joke between my wife and I. I will often say I'm the most consistently inconsistent person you want to meet. So historically, I've been the guy who starts this, goes for a little while, and then, sees I'm like a squirrel, right? I see the next great thing and I'll go after that for a while. And then, so I'm an artist, right? I'm a photographer first and, business guy second, I guess. So you have helped corral my artist brain. And having, the weekly accountability calls and the action plan has definitely helped me stay focused on what needs to be focused on. So yeah, it's been life changing. Nothing short of life changing.
Now I want to pull up something real quick and get your thoughts on this because you and I have worked together. I think for what was that, 3 years, or was it how long did we work together there before you exited the business? Do you know?
We started in 2019.
So 2019. Okay. So we've worked together for quite a while there. And, so 2019, wow. So that's almost 5 years, 4.5 years or so. But if we do a search for carpet cleaning quotes, I've worked with one particular brand for 14 years, I think almost 15 now, and they have 271,000 Google reviews. So for 14 consecutive years, I've been talking to the same ownership about, you have to gather objective Google reviews from your ideal and likely buyers. You have to get reviews. After you clean the carpet, you have to gather video reviews and Google reviews. And we talk about it every week. And it's just like it's like bamboo. I keep coming back every week. You can't kill it. I come back every week talking about the reviews. And in a world now where people go online to look stuff up, this has been a powerful tool for oxyfresh.com. It's grown from a handful of locations now to 500 plus locations. How has gathering objective Google reviews and video reviews impacted your sales process?
Well, I feel it's a 1-2 punch, Clay. So Dream 100 and the reviews work hand in hand. So the majority of our business comes from the Dream 100, but that's one referral source. So our couples will be referred by venues, but they want to check us out. So they're going to go online and look for our reviews. So not only do you have to have a ton of reviews, but you have to have a ton of 5-star reviews. And so the referrals plus the social proof on Google brings them in.
Final questions I have for you, then I'll be done harassing you here, is, you now have got all the systems, the scripts, the website, the ads that work, the Dream 100 system going. And so to give people some clarity, you now have a turnkey marketing system in place. I mean, you have a Dream 100 system that works. You now have an online advertising program that works. You now have a sales process that works. It's all documented. It's all systemized for the new owner. So what would you say for anybody out there that is maybe thinking about coming to one of our in-person workshops or scheduling a free 13-point assessment with myself or a member of our team? What would you say to somebody who's kind of on the fence about maybe coming to a workshop or scheduling a free 13-point assessment?
Get off the fence. Just get off the fence. Bottom line. You've helped make my company sellable, right? So those systems is exactly what made our company attractive to the buyer. They were looking for a company that was highly successful, that they could then take and scale.
Yep.
And our business qualified because of what we've done over the last 5 years. And so yeah, I would not hesitate. I've told anybody who's ever asked me about my coaching relationship with you and your organization, I said, I wouldn't hesitate. Never in a million years. You have literally changed my life as a result of what you've taught me.
You have got to come to Tulsa one of these days here. So I know you guys are going to enjoy your retirement or whatever it is you're doing. But at some point, if you ever get the bug and you ever start a new thing or you ever in the Tulsa area, I really want to see you guys. And you have my cell phone number. We can talk whenever. But I want to tell you, it's been an honor working with you. And it's been so exciting to help you hit your goals. And I know you've worked 30 plus years to go on this dream vacation lifestyle that you've built. What would you say to anybody out there that has a business and they feel, my final question for you, they feel overwhelmed by all the systems they have to build, and they're not at the top of the mountain. They haven't sold the business yet. It isn't systemized, and all they see is perpetual chaos. What would you say to that person?
Just take the next step, right? Every journey begins with the next step, and that next step should definitely be contacting you guys.
Tim,
if they just do that, the rest will take care of itself. You make sure of that. So,
Tim, it's an honor serving you again. I appreciate you very much, and don't be a stranger there, sir.
You got it. Thank you, Clay.
Take care, Chief. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like him most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.